Today's not going to be a normal video. We're going to talk about something a little bit more personal today. For Zang-Lang and salutations, my lovely little lunatics. It's me, your friendly and psychopath insanity with my co-host Bob. Hello! And today, there's a lot we could talk about. We could talk about what's going on with Ukraine, what's going on with with Canada and the U.S. forcing truckers to have vaccinations and status and all to even get in. We could talk about there's a lot of stuff we could talk about, but today I want to talk about something that's personal because I had my third colonoscopy back on the 13th.
Oh, yeah, we had one, basically a year, what was it, December 14th, 2020, then just this new one.
Yeah, it was basically a way because basically in 2017, started having internal bleeding. Well, 6 months later, we did a colonoscopy, and they didn't really come up with anything. So we said, screw it, and then of course, then Mom got sick, and then so on and so forth, and just kind of dealt with it up until the point that I would stand up and see stars and nearly pass out. And that entire time, I would go to the bathroom 5, 6, 7 times a day just to let the blood leak out. So then in 2020, we do the colonoscopy. They found out, oh yeah, it's ulcerative colitis. It has proceeded to go 25 centimeters up. It is mild at that point in time. First, I was like, nope, yeah, that's definitely mild inflammation. So they end up doing the test. Yes, it comes back pretty much what they believe is ulcerative colitis. They then give me meslamin, 1,000 milligram suppositories, and for a while, those things work just fine. The best part is the nausea is gone. That is the biggest thing, because, oh god, the nausea.
Oh, yeah, no, the anemia was one thing, but at that point in time, yeah, no, always feeling like you're about to throw up, yeah, that was miserable.
Oh, yeah. So, 6 months in, everything's still going fine, but then maybe one day every 2 weeks, blood comes out. And not like a little bit of blood, but kind of pretty much the same amount that it used to be. Well, then over time, that one day every 2 weeks becomes one day a week. Well, it becomes 3 days every 2 weeks, then 4 days, then eventually it's 2 days every week, and so on and so forth. And eventually it's just kind of, the nausea is not back, which I'm thankful for that. I was ready to take this stuff. I was told I'd probably have to either, depending on if it, what the biggest dream was that it would put it into remission, which it never went into remission. Not once, as we found out later, or at least slow it down. Well, turns out, so I eventually have to call up my doctor again and go like, look, there's some problems. And he also was kind of like, originally we were going to do it anyways, but he wanted to wait maybe a year and a half. But when I told him that, it was like, okay, we're going to set you up for another colonoscopy. We set it up. It has now, while taking this medication every single day, I took it every single day specifically because, hey, if I don't take it, if I stop taking it, 2 days later, full bleeding comes back. 3 days later, I start to get a little bit nauseous. 5 days later, I feel awful. And there was one time I couldn't get it for a week. And I legitimately spent days 5, 6, and 7 in bed. I couldn't move just because getting all that back in a week was utterly terrible. So once again, we have the colonoscopy, and it has not been definitely, of course, has not been put into remission, and in fact has progressed another 10 centimeters or 2/5 its length in 1 year while taking medicine that should have at least slowed it down. So it didn't do jack. It helps with the nausea, and it somewhat helps with the bleeding, but we're finding
less and less returns on our investment.
Yes. So my doctor who does the colonoscopy immediately sends me to a new doctor who gets up and starts looking at my stuff, and I then did a bunch of tests, but when I was sitting there in front of him, he asked me the one thing, like, okay, so first off, it says your mom here had cancer. I was like, yes, she died of cancer. And the big thing about ulcerative colitis that makes it so dangerous, especially for men, you are more likely to have the worst side effect of all, colon cancer, if you're a guy. So that sucks. So basically, as he saw it, the fact that it grew 2/5, because I've had it since it started late 2017. So between 2017 and 2020, it only grew 25 centimeters. Between 2020 and my thing in December 14, 2020, and January 13th, January 13th, 2022, it had grown 2/5 its size, gone from 25 centimeters to 35 centimeters, or a little bit under 14 inches. Which, once again, well, the first time, your colon is only about 5 feet long. And mine is already at 13.77 inches in a span of 4 years. So that's not good. So the doctor looks at me and tells me, okay, there are two basic things we can do. There are these pills that you could take twice a day for the rest of your life. He didn't even tell me the name of the pills because he said, I don't think that's a good idea. And I asked him, well, why? And he said, if you were 50, because here's the thing, ulcerative colitis usually happens between the ages of like 30 and there's the younger one where you apparently can get it, like you can be a child and suddenly be told you have ulcerative colitis, but earliest they usually find is like 15, between the ages of like, the earliest is like 15. And there's a group. That group is basically 15 to 30s. Well, actually, there's three groups. Like 15 to 30, 30 to 40, and then 50 and over. These pills, once again, will increase your chance of colon cancer. And as he said, if you got this when you were 50, I think it'd be fine. Because at that point in time, okay, maybe you live another 2 decades, and that's about it. For me, the problem is, and it seems as if I have mild to severe ulcerative colitis at 32 years old.
Once again, explains why the one original thing really didn't have much of an effect in the long run.
No. And originally we were thinking this would be great, and this would be the thing I would take for the rest of my life. But no. Within 6 months, it had already started having diminishing returns. So what he said, he asked me, did I have a good insurance? I was like, I pay my insurance $300 a month. I think they should be good insurance. Yeah, we'll get to that later. So basically, he says there's a drug, Humira, which it's a bi-weekly shot. The problem with Humira, the big thing about Humira is that it lowers, basically, the whole thing about ulcerative colitis is your body telling it to attack itself. Whereas, like you said, go, there's a virus, go get it. But it thinks your body is a virus. So all those wounds in my gut that slowly get, destroyed, that get opened up, just kept getting eaten away at. That's why the blood doesn't stop. So what ended up happening, so he said, okay, we really should get you on Humira. Sure, it lowers your body's immunity system, but it's far better than me giving you pills that more than likely are going to give you cancer in the long run. Because, once again, mom died after her basically she had breast cancer. They said it wouldn't be back for at least 10 years. Well, 5 years later, she's not feeling well. They take her to the hospital. Turns out, not only is the breast cancer back, but is metastasized all across her body. So that's not good for me on the cancer front. Both my parents are adopted, and we don't know the family's medical history beyond my parents. So we look at it like, okay, so Humira seems like the best one. I kind of don't want to take the cancer pills twice a day, the potentially cancer-causing pills twice a day. Well, okay, so I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, okay, this is gonna be a couple $100. I'm ready to eat that cost because, hey, and maybe if I have to go to another insurance, fine. The main reason I have this insurance was because when I was taking my mental medications, they dropped it from like $1,000 a month to like $100, or like $1,000 Actually, it was like $2,000 for 3 medications, and they dropped it to like $100. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I thought they would help with this.
No, 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 no.
Not even close. Yeah. So it turns out, right now, with my insurance, it would cost me over $17,000 per month.
I have no words. This is absolute bull. How the hell is this possible?
Well, you see, if we take a look, let me see. Do I have it set up? No, let's just see here. As you can see here, normally these injections cost, for 2, around $6,700 a month. Let me just zoom that in there again. So, my insurance wants me, and this is just a drugs.com discount card, so nothing at all. My insurance, which I pay $300 a month for, which doesn't really help at all for the colonoscopy or any like when I've got a thing from Next Level Urgent Care. They only took $50 out of it, so I have to pay $180. So yeah, so $300 a month for this bull, and they want me to pay almost 3 times out of pocket for what a drugs discount card could do. This is beyond insane. Luckily, the company my doctor talked to is now setting me up to get on government aid. The doctor, when he asked me, okay, so what kind of disability do you get? And I looked at him and said, I don't get disability. He stopped, put down his paper, looked at me, and told me, you need to sign up for everything you can. And when I asked him why, he said, I'm going to be honest. The fact that you have mild to severe ulcerative colitis that has gone this far in such a short amount of time, it's not. And the fact that the one stuff you were given didn't do anything to slow it down, this is not going to go well. We can hope that the Humira just stops its dead in its tracks. He said, but that's not assured. He said, eventually you're probably going to need, you're going to need to have colon surgery, have something removed. And the fact that this is what they expect me to pay, otherwise basically just deal with eventual anemia, crippling anemia, because back when the anemia was bad, back when the bleeding every day, my blood oxygen level was in the high 70s to low 80s. That ain't good. And I could not walk up a flight of stairs without seeing stars. When I went and first saw the first doctor that started this whole thing, he asked me to stand up and sit down 10 times. I passed out on the 9th time. That's how bad it was. I slept 10 to 14 hours a day and was still tired. This is insane. This is beyond bull. I do not understand what they expect from me. This is why, so my dad right now is finding a disability lawyer because that's the scariest thing about filing for disability and all that. You got to sign all the paperwork perfectly, or they could deny you or force you to wait a while and then do it again, which I don't have the time for. So my doctor, once again, this new doctor told me, you need to sign up for all disability available. And I told him that I was doing my cybersecurity boot camp and all that stuff. And he just said, look, you need to get your money back. And you need to focus on right now, what do you need to do to live life comfortably? Because once again, if I did my cybersecurity job, if I did the cybersecurity boot camps, got the cybersecurity job, I would make enough money that I couldn't be on disability because you can only make a certain amount. And he said, look, you doing that, you'd have to be doing a job all the time. Like, and he said, if the bleeding doesn't stop, if it comes back, if the Humira works the same way as the other stuff does, he's like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to focus on what can you do to live comfortably. So here I am now. They're the whatever medication company, the whatever, they're trying to help me get some financial, they're like actual like government aid. My dad's talking once again to a disability lawyer. I don't know what to do.
It's sad that drinking yourself to death is an easier, much cheaper way. We could get the most expensive booze imaginable, and that we could get our hands on, and it would do better and it would be cost less. It wouldn't even cost a sixth as much as these drug discount cards are, let alone 17 times. This is insane. This is...
Yeah, no, my dad even made the joke of going to other countries to get these drugs. Which, hey, I hear a lot of people go down to Mexico for this stuff.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. The problem is you need it bi-weekly.
Yeah, get a whole bunch and hope they don't find out how long it takes for them to go bad. But, yeah, sorry. That was just, that's this little thing for me. This whole just like, okay, you want to live? You want to live an actual, like, somewhat even close to, not even close to normal. You just want to go out and live? It costs you at least $6,700 a month. But for me and my insurance that I pay $300 a month for, it'll cost me $17,000. But hey, that'll be the end of this little video. If you like this video, like and subscribe. And I'll see you all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.